Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Vault Hunters. As always, I am Dor, and today we are going to be running some more vaults. But before we get to that, I want to show you what I've been up to in between episodes. So I added a couple more modifiers to the Plentiful Crystal. We didn't get lucky with Rich or Copious, so that's basically how we're going to be running it, but I'm not going to run that right now. I want to run some normal Afterlife crystals to get back into the swing of running vaults, because it has been about a week and a half, 2 weeks of me not running vaults here. So starting things off over here at Spawn, where we have our iron farm. Now, for those of you that have been following along for a little while, we built this back in episode 14, and that was back in March, and it may have worked for like an episode or two, and then it broke because we then installed Optifine. And now, granted, I should have put 2 and 2 together, because as soon as I installed Optifine, the farm broke, and a smart person would have put 2 and 2 together and figured out something was happening there, but I did not. So it took me about 4 months to figure this out, but in Optifine, there is a setting to disable these spawn chunks. For whatever reason, I've played Minecraft since before it came out on 360, like a little bit beforehand, so it's been about 9 years, 9.5 years or something like that. And in all that time, I have never used Optifine. So I didn't know this was an option. I didn't know that's what this thing does. It doesn't tell you that in the tooltip here. The only reason I knew, or the only reason that I figured out that this disabled spawn chunks is because a random Reddit post of a person asking why their iron farm wasn't working, and the person replied that it was the Optifine thing disabling it. So once I turned that off, the iron farm started working like a charm again, which is fantastic. I changed the way the items come through the filter here, so everything gets pushed over to the side. So we have a water column, or a water thing here getting pushed to the side. That goes over some ice, and then the water stream is on this side and the other side. They meet up in the middle, they drop down one more layer, and then all of the items come through and get pushed through a single column of water instead of having the double wide filter like I had last time, which really wasn't all that effective, I don't think. But I didn't run into any issues there, and I also was losing items with the way that I had the water set up previously. So now with the way it's all set up, it's running pretty smoothly. We have a bunch of storage. We have it zigzagged as well, so I can take iron from this chest, and everything will just wiggle its way down, which is pretty nice as well. This has been running for about 5 or so days, and we have one whole column of iron filled up so far. We have this one, and that one is the top one. The top one's getting filled up right now. So we almost have 2 columns full of iron, which is a ton of iron at the moment. I've also moved all of the big statues over to Spawn here, because they do seem to stay loaded and produce items. So they're pretty slow, but they are outputting stuff nonetheless, and so I'm going to leave them here for right now, because that's more items than I would have at the moment if I left them in our base, because I haven't really spent too much time in the base in between episodes here. Now, moving on over to our Guardian farm, I've expanded out the filters from 8 to 10, so we added in 2 more segments to the filter system here. I'm also going to come back and zigzag the barrels like we had at the iron farm. I just didn't have the barrels to do so at the time, and right now there's a lot of them full of stuff that I don't really want to have to deal with to empty out and redo the barrels. So I'll get around to that eventually, but right now it's not really that big of an issue. I've also redone the water system here as well. So we have all of the items go to the right. So on the kill chamber, the water goes to the left, goes up a bubble column, and over to the right to meet up with that water stream there. It all loops around. Those 10 filters on that side are all for the crystals. This 10 is all for the shards. On this line here, the first 5 are all for cod. We then have 1 module apiece for the other types of fish. So we have pufferfish, salmon, and clownfish, I believe, is the other one. And then on the 4th module here, we have it set up for 1 apiece, just in case we have a ton of that stuff coming through. For those curious, it is a drop from the Guardians on this pack. Or if I could get it to show me the actual thing, there we go. So they do drop those fish. It's not a very common thing, but I'm not getting them because they're spawning in our Guardian farm and floating through the portals. They're a drop from these guys. And then I also had to add in an extra filter for the ink sacs, because I think what's happening is we have squids spawning in the bubble columns there and dying on the scaffolding, and then we have dolphins spawning and grabbing those before they go through the portals and dying over here and letting them go. I think that's how we're getting the slime or the squid ink, because we definitely don't have squids coming through that portal. I've never seen a squid fall down or be in the kill chamber, so I don't know where exactly those are coming from. And then the last stretch of 10 filters are split 5 and 5 for the crystals and the shards, and then everything that is going over the filters and not being sorted gets voided into a cactus because when we do let this pile up, we're hitting about 400 to almost 500 mobs in that kill chamber. And when we do let it do that, the amount of crystals or the shards that we get is too much for our filters to handle. So they go over all those filters, they go over all these filters, and then they get voided, because that's what we have the most of at the moment in this farm. And last but not least, I do have the fog disabled at the moment, so we can see a little bit further, and the entire ocean is drained now. So that's great. I've not been working on the digging of the blocks just yet, because I was a little preoccupied with some other stuff in the world, but I will get to that eventually. And I have a bunch of the lanterns down on the bottom here, because this whole chunk, this whole perimeter is covered in slime chunks. So at some point I will be building out a slime farm, or at least some sort of a slime farm, so that I can gather up some slime a little bit easier instead of running around the perimeter here and killing slimes as they spawn in. But I've been chipping away at this. I have 22 vault rock ores. So we can get a bunch of crystals from that here shortly, which is going to be pretty nice. And the final thing for the overworld is here at our ice farm. So I changed out the crop fields to be 5x5s so that I can harvest them easier with our hoe. It only reaches a 5x5 area, so it makes it easier and quicker for me to harvest exactly what I need. And I've also added in a glass layer up in the sky here so that we don't have to deal with snow on the ground anymore, which was kind of getting annoying having snow everywhere, but it is what it is. We have that up there now, so we don't have that spawning anymore, which is pretty nice. I have a thing of turtles over here in the corner so that if we need the eggs for any of the crystals, we can gather them really quickly. I needed turtle eggs for the farms that I built in the nether, so that's why these guys are here, waiting for these guys to hatch while AFK over here in the corner. They still took like 2 to 3 hours to actually fully spawn in, so that was something I don't ever want to have to deal with again. But we have the turtles here if we need them, unless somehow they get hit with something and die, in which case I don't want to deal with them ever again, so I don't really mind. The other thing that I added in this area were the feeding troughs, which don't seem to work. Maybe there's like a cap on mobs, because it spawned in a couple pigs, and then it spawned in 1 cow, even though I filled up the thing full of wheat. They ate it all, and they only spawned 1 cow, which was pretty great. I had like 30 sheeps, so maybe that's why they weren't spawning, I think, maybe. I'm not too sure, but we added in this thing here. This is all of the colored wool that is being generated right now. There's not a whole lot of it in here because I used a lot of it to make beds, because I needed to spawn-proof a farm in the nether for it to actually function properly, and so I went through a little bit of it. I didn't go through too much of it, but that is all the stuff we changed here in the overworld. So let me jump on into the nether. So here in the nether, I only built out 2 farms. The first one is a gold farm. This is a design from Nembomb, but I also had to use a tutorial video from Shulkercraft, so I'll link to both of their videos down in the description for this farm. So one of the things I do want to mention about this farm, in this mod pack at least, is it doesn't work unless you go into Cork and disable one of the settings. So this one right here, pistons move tile entities, because with that enabled, for whatever reason, the honey blocks will grab onto the hoppers. So I'm hoping that doesn't break anything in the vaults. If it does, then I need to re-enable it. But if it doesn't, then that's great for us. But all we do is press the button. It turns into a kill chamber for us to hit. With the button off, it just turns it into an auto-killing thingy here. But we have all of the items going down here, getting sorted. So we have 3 for the ingots, a bunch for the nuggets, and the last 3 here are for the rotten flesh. Everything else is being voided. So we have plenty enough storage for all of the things. I've not really ran this too much because I have been spawn-proofing for the last couple days, trying to get this to run as smoothly as possible. But down here, the reason I have the fog disabled as well is because initially I want to get away from my elevator before this guy shoots me. But initially I was going to dig out a perimeter. So it's 128 wide perimeter from the center of the farm. And I got to about the bottom part of the roof before we opened up into the nether, until I got really burnt out on doing that. I burned 3 picks doing it on accident, because vein mining and breaking stuff with a pick that can break is a little risky. But we got all of that dug out, and then I just started blowing up the rest of the area with the beds. So that's why there's a bunch of fire everywhere. And how I was spawn-proofing it was I would blow up a bunch of area, leave the area so everything despawns, come back, and see if we had any pigmen and stuff spawned in anywhere that we needed to spawn-proof. So I just blow up more beds on it if we did have stuff there. But mostly everything is spawn-proof. I don't see anything spawning in right now. We do have a pigman there, actually. But for the most part, a lot of this is indeed spawn-proof. Down here on the lava, I don't think this is even close enough for the farm to be in range of it. But I spawn-proof as much of it as I could, and the rates are way better than it was when I first initially built it. So I built it over a lava lake thinking that we were good, we didn't have to spawn-proof, but we definitely did, because the rate of these guys dropping when we first built it was maybe one every 10, 20 seconds, and now it's just a constant stream of them. I also have the AFK area set up so that if I don't want to sit there and loot them, I can just hang out up here and they'll just spawn and die. And we can zoom in on the kill chamber and see that the rates are possibly a little bit quicker than us staying down there. So I believe there might be a little bit more spawn proofing that needs to be done for us to get the maximum rates out of this farm. But for the most part, it's running a lot better than what it was initially. So let's jump on over to the last farm that I built out here. The last farm that I built was a wither farm from E43. So in this pack, I believe I might need to do a little bit of spawn proofing, because on the soul sand we have the ghosts or the spirits or whatever they're called. I don't remember, to be honest. So those may be affecting the spawn rates a little bit, because this farm is not really that quick. Like if I kill these guys right now, we may have some more come out, or we may have to wait around for a little bit for them to come out again. It's not a thing that I can AFK and just swing at, because the rates don't keep up with the farm. So I believe I will have to come back and spawn proof it a little bit more. I didn't do too much of it. I lit up some of the area, but I didn't go out the 128 blocks like I did with the gold farm. But that's something I will have to deal with eventually. And right now, the skulls that we are getting from this are able to keep up, so it's not too bad. The rates are decent, I suppose. Anyways, starting off our first vault, we got resilient and fast, so we are losing 2.5 minutes, but we also gained, is it a minute and a half from just having the relic thing created? So we should be, oh, this is bad. Should be good. Oh, that actually wasn't that bad. The guy didn't blow up, and then he did. I am actually going to risk fighting the boss in this vault just to see if we can actually deal with it now that we have the other stuff spec'd into. I may be able to kill it, I may not be able to kill it, but we will see, I suppose. I'll try and get that going. So I'm trying to do these things now because we need to start increasing our favor for some of these people. So Valeria is going to be an issue now that they're -4. That's going to cause issues when we go into vaults, which isn't great, but I completed this thing, and I didn't realize it, but you need to have the thing in your hand before you complete it. I thought it was before we click on it, so we got a favor for whatever goddess thing that is. So that's a bit of an unfortunate turn of events there, but let's drop all this on the ground because we should have it all go into the things that we have, the danks and stuff like that. Alright, so we're not going to be fighting the boss in this vault because we only have a minute and a half left. I don't know how far out the next obelisk is going to be. And the altar things, I only kept finding the kill ones, so I didn't do any more because the kill ones are not the ones we need to be doing. I need to also quickly look up and see which altar is to the one that is at -4 right now. I think it's the time one or the what's the other one? Time or, oh man, I can't remember the other one. We have a kill one, we have an XP one, we have a time one, and we have... Ooh, what is the other one? I don't remember. Genuinely, I don't remember it. Okay, so whatever. We're going to wait till the 30 seconds mark, and then we are jumping out of this vault. We should have a decent amount of loot. I don't think we did too well, though, to be honest. So for our second vault of the day here, we got personal space, frail, lucky, and simple. So that's pretty good. The god of the vault that we have angered at the moment, that's the wrong button, is Valera. So that is actually the heart sacrifice idol, which we just got hit with. So our healing efficiency is going to be less, and the mob counts are going to be more, is what it should be, but it didn't just say that. It just said my healing is reduced by 10%. But anyways, with that in mind, we do need to keep an eye out for those altars, and we are going to do them. I have the idols in my scavenger box, where I have all my, my puzzle pieces, so I will need to find those altars and complete them to try and pull that number back below -4, because that's when it starts having an effect. And so we want to get that back below that. We have a mine room and we have personal space, so we could go ahead and grab all the stuff from this room. And I also brought a normal pickaxe with us, so we could harvest up the walls and then just use some of the XP bottles to repair it before it breaks. And we could potentially get a ton of stuff from this room if I am on the ball with the fixing of it and stuff like that. Alright, well, we only have 5 minutes left in this vault. We have gotten a lot of vault ore from this room. I've cleared it out pretty much completely. I think this is the last layer of stuff here. I could be wrong. But we have to be a little cautious with our pick now because we are completely out of XP bottles. I believe we had 900, 700, something like that in the dank before we came into this vault, and we are completely out now. So, oh, we are not done with this. Wow, there's a lot more levels to it. Okay. Huh. Dang, I thought we were doing pretty good, but we only cleared out like 2 or 3 chunks then, if that's the case. I need to get out of this little area. I would like to be up here where I can at least run and get back to the portal if need be, but for the most part, this is all dug out. Yeah, we only did 2 layers. Okay, I thought we did a lot more than that, but not the case at all. But anyways, I'm going to try and take advantage of the last 4 minutes here and try to gather up a few more vault ores if I see them. I'm trying not to die in here and lose all this stuff. That would be ideal, but let me get running here and see if I can find any more. So for today, we're only going to be running those 2 vaults. We are going to fortune down a bunch of our ores, so I don't want to make the episode too long by running some more vaults today. So next episode, we'll run the normal 4, but for right now, I want to fortune some stuff down. So let's get looking through all the loot that we managed to gather up today. So from the first vault today, we did get some vault idols, which is nice. We have some more of the relic boosters and the mystery boxes. We got a little bit of the vault ore, and we got a couple more traders to go through as well. So we got one selling a magnet, which isn't really all that necessary anymore, and nothing else really that's of use to us anymore at this point. We got a statue generating some dark oak logs. We got another one generating the metamorphic taiga stone and rusty iron plates. That's pretty nice. We also got 5 vault diamonds from that run. So we now have enough to make 3 blocks of vault diamonds. I don't know if we have the star essence for the knowledge stars though, so that might be our little hiccup there. But anyways, let's move on over to our secondary vault of today, where we spent the entire vault run in the mine room, and I believe we did fairly decent. We did get some pog gems, so we got those guys, we got this guy, we got that guy, and this one I believe is the only other. Oh, actually Gorgonite as well. These are all normal gems here. We also got our first echo pog ore, so that's nice. Hopefully Fortune will be kind to us and give us a couple of those. That would be kind of cool. We also have one more statue in here generating stone, so that's nice. Let me take this. So I am also going to have to set up a couple more danks and move some stuff around from here on out, because now that we have the gold farm, gold isn't really all that important to us anymore, because I can just go to the gold farm and get blocks of gold over the course of an hour faster than I can gather them from a vault. So I'm not going to be voiding the gold that's in our danks. I'm just going to be placing it over here with the junk items that we don't necessarily want. I will probably reshuffle them to where if we are hitting 256 or 1,000, then it will start voiding. But I'm not gonna move things around too much here, I don't believe. We are also going to set up a dank for this stuff, the rocky stone, and the other items that we were getting from the mine room, because when we come across those rooms, we're going to be spending a lot of time in them from here on out, which I should have been doing from the beginning, but I haven't been. But we're going to be voiding this stuff, because I spent a lot of time dumping this into our crates so that it wouldn't be just floating around and clogging up our inventory, because I knew some of the vault ores we didn't have in our danks, so I wanted to make sure I was actually picking them up and they weren't just floating on the floor and I was losing them or something like that. But anyways, let's open up all of our stuff that we managed to gather up, and hopefully we can get the last relic for the nature set. That would be pretty nice to add another 30 seconds to our stuff, and of course we didn't. Cool. Let's open up these guys, and nothing too important from those. Alright, sweet. So let me grab all of the vault ore. I'm going to go throw the statues down on their boxes so they generate their stuff, and then we're going to vein mine most of our ores right now with our fortune pick. I forgot about it, but let's also roll the idols as well. So we need the green one. We don't actually need the green one, but if we do get something better than the ones we have right now, then I may start running those a little more. But attack damage and weakening cloud, not really too important, I don't think. Let me plop that stuff in there. I will put those together here in a second and see if we have enough of the stuff to make some knowledge stars. I would like to get a mod today if we're at all able to. So to start things off, let's vein mine all of our vault rocks. And we had 22 of these, I do believe. So let's see how many we got. We got a stack and 28. That's pretty good. That's going to hold us over for quite some time here. Next up, let's do our woodadite. I don't remember how many's in this pile, so we'll just kind of play it by ear. We got a stack and 18. Let's do the gorgonite next. This is going to be for the pog gems. We got 48 of those. We got bogmeanite up next, and we only got 31 of those. Let's hope we get a decent amount of puffium. I believe this is the one that's usually nice, right? Yeah, we got 25 of those. That's not too bad. Let's do our tubium next. We got 9 of those. Let me move all these things over so I can see what I'm getting at a time here. And let's do our black opal next. We have a few of those down. We have a stack and 35 from that. Nice. And what's next? Panite. Let's see if we get a decent amount of this. Ooh, we got to do it twice because we had so many of that on the ground. And we got 4 stacks and 53. Not too bad. Next up is our Larimar, so let's do that and do that number there. And we got a fair bit of that. We got 7 stacks and 16, so not too bad. Let's do our Beniatite next. We don't have a whole lot of that, but we got a stack and 13. Pretty nice. Let's hit our Alexandrite next. And we got stack and 15, not too bad. These are all going to be the pog gems here, so hopefully we get enough to make a couple of them. We don't really need them at the moment, but having extra pogs on hand would come in handy nonetheless. So for this, we got 38. We got Ashium up next. We only have 6 ores of this, so maybe we get lucky. We got 23, not too bad. We also have 6 of the fun side, so let's hope we get a decent amount of that. We did indeed. Nice. And Escalium here, we only got 4, so we got 11 from that. Not too bad. Last up here, we got Sparkletine. With only 2 of those, we got 10 from that. Not too shabby. And last but not least, let me move all this stuff over. We have 1 Echo Pog. Now, if we get 2 from this, that's great. If we get more than 2, that would be fantastic. If we only get 1, it's not gonna be very good. But let's see what we got. I didn't clear my... We got 8 from 1. That is fantastic. Holy smokes. What did I need Echo Gems for? I needed it for... Ooh, what was it? It was one of the perks that I wanted to take off, right? Was it Step Up? Or Alvish? One of these needed the Echo Gems for it. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to be removing Step Up because we need 16 Echo Gems for that. And the reason I don't want to remove Step Up, or Step, because if we do end up dying and I don't have an afterlife thing on our crystal, we lose the sash. And I gotta be honest, I think the sash is a little expensive to be making over and over again. So I'd rather just leave Step and have the sash with us, because that way we have... It's kind of pointless, but it's a safety net for us not to have to end up making one of these if we want to run vaults like normal. So I'll leave the perk on for right now. I'm not really too stressed to take it off. But let me gather up all the stuff. We're going to make a couple pogs. We're going to see if we have enough stuff to make a couple knowledge stars, and we might be picking up a mod right now. Okay, so we actually had just enough star essence to make all of the shards that we needed to craft. So let's get 3 knowledge stars up and going here. We also have enough of the player gems to get, 12 pogs up and running. So I'm going to craft 12 of these together, and we may end up using a few of them right now. I don't think we're going to use all 12 of them, but I am going to be making another tier 2 dank or a tier 3 dank. I'm not quite sure just yet. And maybe, yeah, because we only have 4 diamonds, so I think it's 4 for 1 dank 2. Or actually, we could make a tier 3 one because it's the same kind of recipe as a tier 2, except for it's gold instead of redstone. So let's do 1 tier 3 because we have 4 diamonds left over. And then we're going to craft up maybe 1 or 2 of the tier 1s as well, because again, we need the capacity to throw some stuff away here. But let me gather up the gems, and we'll have 12 of these on hand in just a minute. And there we go. There's 12 pogs in our inventory. Can we actually craft these into the secondary level of a pog? We can make it into an echo pog. We have the gems for that, but I don't think there's anything in this recipe list. This is a nightmare. I hope we don't have to actually craft that for anything, but yeah, there's nothing in this listing that we need right now, and things that we don't even have, like the mods unlocked to do. So right now, we don't need an echo pog. Eventually, we most likely will need one, but right now we're good. let me continue looking through some of the recipes that require just a normal Pog and see if there's any mods that are interesting to us right now or that we actually have unlocked at the moment that we can use the Pog to like craft something that we need. All right, so the only thing we're going to currently use these Pogs on is leveling up our dank, and then we're going to have a bunch of them backlogged at the moment. And the other thing that we could use them on later on is making the Terra Shatterer, which we can't do right now because we need 40 Vault Diamonds to craft the thing and a whole bunch of mana, I'm assuming. So for right now, let's craft together the Tier 3 Dank, and that's about it. We're just going to throw the other Pogs in a chest for right now. And there we go. So there is our Tier 3 Dank. This is our Bob Dank, so I have to put everything back in there. That's something I'll do off camera here and rename it as well. But now we should have, how many more items is it? I don't remember. So we were doing 1,000 and something. Now we're sitting at 1,900. So can we put these in there as well? Oh yeah, look at 2,400, 2,500. I guess I could have just shifted over the top of the dank here, but we held 4,096 items compared to the 1,024 items. And we also have another layer of items in here as well. So I'm going to have to do a reshuffle of all of our dank items. We may have to craft another dank for the trash, or we might not, depending on what I move around and what I don't. So I will hold off on crafting another dank tier 1 until I have everything sorted the way I want to have it sorted again, and then I'll probably end up having to craft 1 or 2. We will play it by ear, though. Let me throw all of these Pogs back in there. We don't need them anymore. And let me look at the researches and see if there's anything I want to buy for the 3 points that we have right now before I have the numbers stuck on my screen. Okay, so I was going to pick up a storage mod, but we don't have enough points for any of these at the current time. So this is only 2 points, but it's not really 2 points because we need to then buy into this one. So it's 3 points. And by that point, the prices are going to go up because this is going to add points. This is also going to add points. So it's not going to be 1 point when we pick this one up. So the storage mod that I'm going to go with is Refined Storage, because RF Tool Storage, you need a Vault Diamond for the Tier 2 storage and upwards. So that's off the table. The Applied Energistics is the same way. The Tier 2 storage module needs a Vault Diamond, and then the Tier 3 needs more Vault Diamonds, or it needs a block of Vault Diamonds. I don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to go with Refined Storage, but we need 4 points for that right now, so we can't actually afford that. We're also going to need a power mod, and RF Tools is off the table because we're going to have to buy into the base, and I don't want to do that. So we're either going to be picking up power or Flux Networks, most likely not mechanism generators because that's expensive. And same thing with this. So it's most likely going to be power. So for right now, we're going to consume 2 points. We're going to buy the last 2 decoration mods to bring the price down as low as we can get it right now before we start buying other mods. So, oop, that's the wrong button. Let's do that there. And let's pick these guys up. So that should be down as low as we can get it. So with the decoration stuff bought, we're going to be picking up power next, which is going to be 3 points. And then we're going to pick up Refined Storage after that, because that's also going to be 3 points. So that way we don't pay more than we need to. Either way, it's going to be 6 points, because if we buy Refined Storage first, it's going to up this one by a point. So it's going to be 4 points. And same thing back and forth. So either way we go about it, it's still 6 knowledge stars we need to pick up both of these mods. But that's something we're going to work on for next episode. We're also going to have to find the idols for the heart sacrifice to get this god idol thing back down under 4, because that's going to be a bit of an issue. It's not too bad. I thought it was the one that gave us less damage, but it's the one that spawns more mobs and we regenerate health slower, I think is the modifiers this one gives us. So it's not the worst one out of the bunch. I believe this one gives us less time, this one gives us less damage. So ideally we got lucky by having this one as the worst one, but it's not too bad. We will work on that to try and pull it back down. I have the idols and stuff like that. We'll try and get that going. But for today, that's going to be it. So I hope you enjoyed as always, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.